Okay guys, before we get into this week's episode, I would just like to announce our little collaboration between ourselves and Retro Gaming Draws on Facebook. I'll be putting the link to that page in the description. Each week they raffle off high valuable video games. I will be donating a few myself from my gaming page 184bit Gaming. So head on over to there and get involved.
Welcome to the Nerds Against Normality podcast. I'm Stacey Bowles. I'm the president of this podcast, and with me I've got my vice president Harry Bowles.
Hello.
And our presidential snitch Ben Sheridan.
Mrs. President, there's been a... I don't know. There's been something.
Last episode we talked about your TV career. How'd it go?
Oh yeah.
It went really well, thank you. Yeah, so the TV thing went really well. Got lost, drove up a one-way street the wrong way. So that was stressful. So that actually took my mind off of things because I was like, well, I didn't die, so that's winning. It was quite cool though, going to a TV studio because I'd never been to one before. It's mad seeing all the screens with the pre-recordings, and you go in there and there's like 5 cameras on you. The guy, he was awesome. He was really welcoming, and the producer was really nice. She made me feel at ease. She was a bit of a nerd herself, so she very much approved of the films that I picked.
Nice.
So what's the format of the show?
You sit on your sofa, one side, the chap's the other, and you pick 4 films that have had an influence on you at some point. It's not necessarily the best films ever. It's just films that have impacted you personally. He doesn't know what you've picked. He literally finds out when the slide goes over and the next film comes up. Mm-hmm. Backdoor Sluts 9 was a shock.
Why go for
he
7?
knew the director though.
Why go for 7? The prequel sets it all up.
It's the best one.
I know.
So I went for Shaun of the Dead.
Nice.
Jaws.
Great.
Terminator 2.
Also great.
And Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. More on that coming up soon.
The only one I was surprised that you picked was Jaws, I think.
I can see why you would have picked Jaws, given your phobia of boats and seaside towns.
Beards. They have such terrifying beards.
And their eyes, like a doll's eyes.
That film just fucked me up, is the only way to put it. Like, it scared me out of the ocean as a child, and I never grew out of it.
Never gone back.
I hate it.
No.
I've mentioned it in the Australia podcast when we talked about that. That film has stained my life. And it might, you talk about films that have shaped you. That film has shaped me. I could have been a marine biologist.
You could have been.
But fucking Spielberg ruined that job.
Was it Spielberg?
I can't imagine he was a marine biologist.
I actually could.
Yeah?
I can imagine like punching a cod or something.
Punching a cod. I'm not sure that's what they do for their
I
job.
think that's what they do for their jobs. I think that's exactly what they do for their job.
How are you getting over there, Jerry? Jaws is the definitive shark movie. It was the best shark film when it came out in 75, and it has never been topped. He made up an interesting point. So in the interview, I claim that Jaws is an 18 when he actually corrected me, and he was like, I actually think it's a PG. He's like, it's funny that your mind thinks it's that scary that you thought of it as an 18. And I'm like, wow.
I've got a friend. I used to live with a guy who was so into the film Jaws, he had named his son Brody.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say...
Jaws.
He straps a fin to his back and when he gets in the bar.
Dad, please.
I'm 28. When is this going to stop?
Yeah. So when you went into where was the studio at Curiosity?
So it was in Chatham, right by the Chatham Dockyard. It's in the university campus.
Oh, I know it.
So there was lots of, scarf wavers and twats knocking about.
I didn't know Ben went.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met you there. And I opened the door for him and I just went like, my client will not be seeing any. You have 10 minutes exactly for this interview.
I'm fucking counting down the second.
It has started 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, so it was in Chatham, found it eventually. Lasted about 40 minutes, but I think the episode will be about 25.
That's really good.
And how can we watch this episode?
They will send me the link to it first, which
Fair.
I think will be the YouTube link, but then it will be released on TV at some point in the near future. And when we get that information, I'll put it out there. But it's on KMTV.
Did you, just because this is my world, that you stepped into and don't ever do that again?
I'm not saying it went well, but I got invited to go onto a podcast.
Yeah, you're leaving us now.
Yeah, I've outgrown you.
The normality nerds.
Yeah.
Like, fuck!
BBC Gardener's World.
They poached me.
How dare
It
you?
was just a bloke outside.
Turning over a new leaf.
Very good, very good.
Oh, wow.
Sound the alarm.
Is that what
Thank
got
you,
you
Mitch.
invited
We got
onto
him.
Is that what got you invited onto the podcast?
What? I said that pun.
Garden puns, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, I would, but I don't want to muddy the waters.
Either one of those jokes. Take your pick. A pick is a type of gardening. Never mind. Did you have to do things like, because obviously if we ever had people in for interviews and like when we were doing publicity stuff, you would have to go through like makeup and
No.
wardrobe. Didn't do anything like that. Just literally like
They're
walked in.
like,
So it was very much
I'm
like,
so sorry you look this way, but we can't change it.
there is nothing we can do. It's really good though, man.
Yeah, it was good. Like, the only thing that we had preparation was you hook up your mic and you just go through the testings, and then he would read off the first bit for the reel, do a couple of test runs. But like I say, he had no idea what films I'd picked. The producer knew, and she was having a little chuckle that I'd picked Dragon Ball Z. She was like, he is not going to have any idea.
Nice.
But he's so knowledgeable. The first 3 films, I mean, he knew the release dates, he knew the studios, he knew the directors, the writers. We were talking before we were recording about like Clint Eastwood, and he was like, oh yeah, Clint Eastwood was born in blah, 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 blah. He's born here. And I was like, oh my God, your film knowledge is insane.
And then you kissed.
Yeah. Only for a bit.
We have the tape.
Who did you talk about more on the show, me or Ben?
Don't make me pick.
There's one right answer, and it's definitely not me. Well, it shouldn't be me.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't talk about either of you.
Oh.
I didn't care.
Yes!
No, to be fair, you popped up a lot in the Dragon Ball Z section, Ben.
As is tradition.
Well, we look forward to that. Talking of TV, we also went to the live experience of the Taskmaster.
So for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, what is Taskmaster?
So Taskmaster is a Channel 4 comedy TV show where 5 comedians go on and they have to complete a bunch of tasks. It's as simple as that, but it's really funny and they all score points.
From the
and you get
twisted
a
mind
winner.
of Alex Horn.
Alex Horn and Greg Davies, yeah. And it's since spawned, I think, worldwide Taskmasters. So there's a Taskmaster New Zealand, I think.
New Zealand, America, Sweden. I'm not sure where else, but yeah, it's
It's huge.
spreading.
Yeah.
Australia got one.
So, we got an email like months ago saying, come to the Taskmaster house. So obviously we jumped on that. And then we realised 2 weeks before we were going to go, it wasn't the actual Taskmaster house. It was like a live experience version.
Yeah.
So there's a bit in there that you don't have to have paid for that you can go into. So it's got like a big outside bit where you've got like a little museum with all their drawings and like some of the models they use in the show and a little gift shop. And then they've got the caravan, the cow, the Greg Davies statue.
Potato throwing.
The potato throwing. And a few tasks dotted around that you can do. And a bar as well. So you could, if you wanted to, you could go have a drink and just do some of that.
Yeah.
Pay some really cheap London prices.
Yeah.
Is this below shard price or above shard price?
Below.
Oh, thank God.
But terrible beer.
Oh.
Oh, not terrible, it's harsh. Average beer.
It's average beer.
And then to do the experience bit, you get put into a group with how many? Like 14?
14, yeah.
14 people, so it's large groups.
It was just you two that went, did you go with a group of friends?
Went with a group of friends, and to be honest, although I am quite antisocial, I wouldn't have wanted to do it with people I didn't know. Because there is a bit where you will have to hold hands.
Oh.
That would be awkward.
And chant, Sir Lou, Sir Lou, loser, lose.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, they reel you in with it.
But you go through, there are like clips from Greg and from Alex, and then you get your own assistant, which is little Alex on. And she was great.
She played the part very well.
Nice.
She was a little bit cheeky, awkward.
Good.
Yeah, she played it well.
The chemistry they have on the show is like, I think something that translates really well, which,
Yeah.
I mean, sorry other countries, but I just don't think you've got it.
Yeah. I'm not going to go into any of the details about the actual task you had to do, because if people want to go, like, don't want to spoil it. But
It's one and done.
I was about to say, is it something you do once and that's it?
Yeah, but they do have a couple of different versions you can do, I think. So we probably want to go back and do a different one. But what I will say is that somebody cheated.
I didn't cheat.
I wasn't there.
I sabotaged.
Sorry, sabotage.
I didn't cheat. I sabotaged.
It got violent.
It did real fast.
Did you crowbar someone?
There's a weight challenge is the best way to describe it. They've got 2 bathtubs, and in those bathtubs is a shit ton of rubber ducks and balls and loads of stuff. and you have to get a particular weight in your bucket, and they weigh it for you. And basically, to mess up the opposition, I was getting the large ducks and I was like chucking them in their people's buckets until I got spotted, and then that become a free-for-all where everyone was just like launching ducks at everyone's buckets.
That's not against the rules. That's just.
I asked her, I said, can I do that? And she went, it's not in the task that you can't. And I was like,
I was about to say, how much of this can you interpret to like a task? How much can you interpret the task in this? Because I assume there's certain.
They word it quite strictly, so there's not a lot of bend.
A bit like the show, really, but they don't give you a lot of time to think about it because you are moving from set to set to set to set. So what's really cool is, on the inside of the house, you've got the lab.
Yeah.
You've got the sitting room where you've got Greg's portrait, and that was the best room by far. So it was it was really, really good, really fun. I really recommend it. The only downside is that they didn't have any air conditioning, and it was really, really hot, like stifling hot.
That cold October day in London.
Yeah, so I wouldn't want to do it in the summer. And then when we went through to the lab, I don't know if this is because, if you remember, if you're a fan of the show, you might remember that they say that room smells because, is it Sarah Milligan? She drops milk in it.
And they've never been able to get rid of the smell.
Oh my God.
But likewise, when we walked into the lab room, it smelled off. But I didn't know if that was because they were trying to replicate it, or someone in the previous group had farted in the room. Or Harry, perhaps.
Of course.
I've got feelings.
No, it was really good.
Yeah,
So
it was good.
Was it worth the price of it?
I think so.
Money's no object, Ben.
Oh no, of course. Sorry.
We paid for everyone.
For low. Didn't get an invite, but it's fine. For low lifes like me, would it be worth the ticket price?
If you saved up real hard.
If that ISA paid out.
No, it was really good. We booked him so long ago. 90 quid a ticket, I think, roughly. So it's not cheap.
Plus bar, which you're going to buy a drink at.
Yeah, we only had the one drink. And at the end, they give you like the whole, get your photos done and all that stuff. They try and reel you in with T-shirts and merch and whatever. But no, I would honestly, if you're a fan of the show, you'll really appreciate what they've done for it. And the staff look like they love it. The staff are not just clocking in, doing a shift. They get involved. They're fun.
It's like a new take on an escape room. So it's...
good.
Yeah, but no, it was really good.
Nice.
Apart from that, we've also got an update on the quarry for you. If you remember last time, we had 2 or 3 characters left, but one of them was a werewolf.
Well, we figured out we had like 5, actually.
Oh, sorry, 5 characters.
5, but one was a werewolf.
2.
2 of them were.
You've
really messed this up.
So yeah, you think that's bad? We really fucked up after that.
So we started playing it again, and we opened with our 2 characters who we were absolutely convinced would be the 2 that made it through to the end.
And what happened to them?
Stacey has terrible. We worked out that you killed basically all of our characters.
This doesn't surprise me. Sorry, Stace, but it doesn't surprise me.
The werewolf is chasing you around the house, and the options are there like run or hide, and you've got to pick between the 2. And one of the characters, Alex, is knocking on the door going, come this way, because she has a silver shotgun shell.
I didn't realise
right?
this.
So
Stace,
run towards that, right?
Yeah.
She's like, no, run away.
I didn't realise.
And then the werewolf brutally rips us apart, both of our characters.
Oh, great.
So I didn't have a choice. My character got ripped apart on her part.
I just kept like trying to run away, and then all of a sudden like her face got ripped off, and I was like, oh.
Maybe we should walk it off.
So what's really funny is obviously those were like essentially our last 2 characters remaining, so it very abruptly ended after that from what I remember. And then it does like a montage at the end of like all the characters, and it literally went dead, werewolf, dead, werewolf.
So you did.
One survived.
One survived.
And I don't think we got an actual ending. I think the game
it just ended prematurely because you had no one left to go.
Yeah.
So we could say it was a nice attempt.
Yeah.
Well, so we've started replaying it to try and, we're not like walkthroughing it or anything, but we're just trying to make the right
decisions this time.
To try and get many more to live to the end.
Too many men. That's why we keep killing them off. This will be female led if they like it or not.
Already one of them has lived. Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant to say one of them was already
She
died.
killed the character. What's her name?
Emma.
Stupid mouth flaps. Oh, that's her name.
Right, okay.
Just to explain that, her animation on her face is just a bit weird.
Bit Canadian,
like,
South Park Canadian.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
And she goes into this tree house, and it's the two options are investigate upstairs where there's rustling, or look through the bag first. And this one was like, oh, we'll have a look upstairs. Yeah,
Why would you look upstairs?
just smashed her face in.
Because I thought it was an escape hatch.
Why would it be rustling, though?
Why would there be a werewolf on top of a trapdoor?
Because we were playing The Quarry.
I've got my JCB.
I didn't know there were werewolves at that point.
Was this the playthrough? Was this the new game?
No, the first time.
Oh, okay. I was just
Yeah.
like, come on, Stace.
No, I knew it.
And the second time I played it, and we got away, didn't we?
Yeah, but not just
Don't- yeah,
because
but-
you
I
were
wonder,
playing.
I wonder if this is because you don't watch many horror films, so you don't know many of the tropes.
And she's so naive. You believe the best in people all the time.
You fool.
Yeah, people are shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the werewolf approached, I was like, come here, come
Oh,
on.
God.
Sit.
Being a dog, having a dog has changed both of you.
So that's us, Ben. What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Work, mostly. But now, work is done.
Yeah.
So it's the time of recording, and then when this comes out...
Tired.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Poor. Really, really poor. I'm just
you-
going to make a best of it.
You've got a lovely T-shirt, which is going on the socials.
I do. As of time of recording and time of release, The Witcher Season 4 is officially wrapped. And we're done. It's all
Nice.
over. Yeah. And it's been a really good experience. It's been been difficult. Budget has been tight.
I would like to ask you, as they are quite similar shows, how different was Witcher to filming House of Dragon?
Oh, good question.
Thank you. I thought of it myself.
Yeah, but I won't be answering it.
Okay, fair enough. I can't talk about it.
House of the Dragon, when I filmed that, it was the first of its... It was the first one in a franchise, a new franchise. So if you're doing season 1 of anything, usually you've got quite a tough time of it, because not only do you have to create the looks and the sets and the
I mean, it was
sequence.
season 1, but it was off the back of...
Yeah, it was off
Game
the back
of
of Game of Thrones, but there's no real locations in Game of Thrones that went into House of the Dragon. And you don't want to go in and do the same thing again. So, like, it would have been the same when The Witcher started or Lord of the Rings started or something like that. When you're making a new franchise, a new series, everything has to be created from scratch all over again. So, new costumes, new people, new sets, new designs, new choreography, new actors, everything. So, I think for House of the Dragon Season 1, and bearing in mind we filmed that for a year, that was a year of my life just doing that, it was a lot. It was difficult. We were spending so much money. We had so much money. But I think with Witcher Season 4, it's already a bit more established. You can get back, you recycle costumes and you recycle sets again. So the infrastructure is in place around you to make...
You're walking into
something rather than you're literally like putting the first shovel down in the ground. Another quarry reference. I assume they use shovels. So yeah, it was a different one. We watched what's called a sizzle reel. Which is we basically just get a load of
You all
bacon.
fry bacon, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it.
That's good podcasting.
That's good podcasting.
Good podcasting. It's basically a collection of scenes and clips made together into like a 5-minute trailer, which is for the cast and the crew to see. So you can say, look at what you've made, look at what we've managed to achieve. And I'll tell you what, I haven't seen The Witcher. I've seen 2 episodes of it, but I played the game. So I think if you're a fan of the series, you're going to really like this one. And stick around because season 5 is going to be mad. There was a really good bit when it was all very serious when you're going through all the emotional bits and the choreography, and you're like, do you remember those nights when we were like in the refugee camp? We did that, etc., etc. They did like a cut. It's like The Witcher coming soon. We're like, it's like, but the outtakes though, a lot of horse farting, so much of it. There's a very intense bit when it was like Yennefer and what's his name, Gerald, all like she was like in tears, like, I can't let you go. They go for a long time as well. It's like a good 20 seconds of fart.
Did they crack up?
Yeah, every time. if someone didn't, they've got no soul.
How do you wrap something? Like, does the director come out and thank everyone?
Most of the time, yeah. Sometimes you get the producers down. You usually get a lot of people on set. when you've got your final shot or your final take, because everyone wants to come down and see the last bit.
Big wigs, do they come down?
Yeah, they normally come down.
People in the office, they come down from their ivory tower.
Yeah, this happened at the sizzle reel, because we did it in one of the stages and we just started the projector. But I was looking around going, I know some of these people from set, but there was like huge groups of people. I'm like, who the hell are you?
You haven't fucking been in.
I've never seen you
You're
before.
like in the trenches.
So like, if I went out to, it's like, who are you? Like, oh, I'm the second production accountant. I'm like, right. I actually I got misplaced tax earlier. Where was that? Yeah, it's just really strange. How many people are even... We're behind the scenes, but then there's people behind the scenes who are doing like all the legal stuff and everything like that.
Do you go around schmoozing in case you can get more work? Like, hello, good sir.
Nah, I don't do that.
One and done.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly what I said. I went in front of the projector and I said, by the way, lads, I'm one and done. I'll see you all later. And I kicked the table over.
So what's next?
I'm on to something called Fixer, which is a Guy Ritchie show. And then after that, I will be back for The Witcher Season 5.
And when does The Fixer start?
The Fixer starts at the time of recording on Monday.
Oh, wow, okay.
So yeah, no rest for me.
And how do you find jobs like that? Like, do you just get, like, messaged or...
It's just people I know, really. Yeah. That's my whole industry. It's who I know. I'm assuming it's kind of like yours, really, Harry, because like, it's...
Word of mouth.
It's word of mouth and your contacts, and are you reliable? Are you trustworthy? Can you do a good deal?
And they messaged you.
I know. It's like, I heard you on the podcast. I was like, I am a guy on a JCB, another Quarry reference. Obsessed. I just messaged someone I know who happened to be on this Guy Ritchie show. I needed some work, and I asked, and then we've worked together for a long time, so I just decided to do that. And then my former team on The Witcher Season 4 are coming back to do Season 5, and I got asked. So we're going to...
Same set?
Yeah, pretty much, again. Yeah.
What else have you been up to?
Apart from that, I've been plugging a few more hours into Silent Hill 2. It's continued. I think I'm maybe 2/3 of the way through it now. I'm about to hit the Historical Society, which, if anyone knows Silent Hill 2, means it's quite a good bit, and it's quite a trippy bit of the game. And then after that will just be, if I remember right, the hospital and the final reveal, and then that's it.
Oh, because this is a remake.
This is a remake, yeah. Pretty much almost 1-to-1 as well. Like I said last time, it's just they tweaked a few little things, but the core of it is exactly the same. And what I love is modders have already gone into the game.
Of course.
And they've already turned all the fog off, made it bright.
I saw that, yeah. They made it daylight.
Made it bright sunlight, and they've taken away all the monsters. So Silent Hill 2 has now become apparently like an anxiety cure.
A lovely day
It's actually become a walking it's actually become a walking simulator for some people, which I love.
That.
I love video games.
She just walked past Pyramid Head and it's just some woman with a pram being like, hey,
that sounds like
coffee and book club later.
Prosecco with the girls.
I'll play this game.
But you won't be playing that version of the game. Delving into the psyche of a broken man. And then playing the game.
Talking of the psyche of a broken man.
Oh. Where's this going?
Before we move on, we have something to show you.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's going on? Oh no. I'm really nervous now. I'm really hot.
You said something to me yesterday, which I really wanted to reveal, but I couldn't.
Okay.
Because tonight, Matthew,
am I being played?
I am Ben Sheridan.
Oh no. Oh no.
So can you explain to the listeners what's happening?
What's happening is I'm having a stroke.
So as I quite frequently do, I messaged your mum.
You traitorous woman. You
wench.
Absolute traitor.
If I could just explain, Ben's face is just a picture of horror right now.
You evil old hag.
I messaged her going, I heard a vicious rumour. First of all, I was like, congratulations, I'm a bit getting yeah, because I've got manners. Mama raised me right.
Fair enough.
She didn't.
I'm taking back my congratulations. And my wedding present. Didn't get one.
And, jokes on her. I messaged her, congrats, and then I was like, there's a vicious rumour going around that Ben did a bit of karaoke. And she's like, he did. I was like, I don't suppose anyone filmed it, did they? And she's like, oh, well, actually, I did. And I was like, oh, I don't suppose there'd be any chance I could have that footage. And she's like, yes. So she sent over the video, and I was like, 2 minutes of pure gold. And then she was like, wait there. And then another 2 minutes come through.
Oh, fuck
And then
off.
another 2 minutes come through. She did message afterwards being like, please don't blackmail my son.
You went, I can't promise anything. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not acting at like peak proficiency right now.
I'm too emotionally distraught.
We watched them several times, and I think the Backstreet Boys one's our favourite because of the dancing. So we would,
Yeah, was it?
we would love your permission to post it on the socials.
Or we can make it into a nice reel. Be nice. Be really good.
You always wanted to do that TikTok dance.
Your mum's really let you down here, mate.
My whole family's just let me down. I wonder if there's any other openings on any more podcasts.
BBC Gardener's World is full now.
And maybe some new friends. Yeah, go on then, go on.
We tell
It's already out there as well, I think, somewhere. So,
is it?
yeah.
Well, and on that glorious note,
Should we just get on with the review, please?
let's get on with the review.
Yeah, can't we?
No, let's go back to the singing.
So this week, obviously, by the time we've released this, there will have been a monumental shift in US policy and history. And whoever's won, not us to comment on, but democracy has prevailed. So we thought we would do something that shows off the real struggles that the US president would go through. We could have done a film like Vice, which follows Vice President Dick Cheney during the George Bush era. We could have done something like All the President's Men, which was a hard-hitting look at the Watergate scandal, which ended President Nixon's career. Or we could have done something like JFK, which is a political thriller where the JFK assassination may not have been all it seems. Something that was hard-hitting, layered, and incredibly emotional. So we watched Air Force One.
What a film.
We took the highbrow option.
We took the very high road. 30,000 feet high road. Air Force One is a 1997 film which follows President James Marshall aboard his titular plane, Air Force One, which the film is named after.
Smart.
Yeah. So Air Force One is a 1997 film which follows President James Marshall on his way back from Russia. It gets hijacked by Russian nationalists and they try and get him off. And then he stays on board and basically he decides just to fuck them all up. So it's basically America versus Russia. Surprise, surprise, America wins again. We're going to be going into spoiler territory for this because it's a 97 film. So if you haven't seen it by now, I mean, in my opinion, you really should see it.
And you can watch it on Disney?
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, Amazon Prime also have it as well for about £1 if you want to rent it, which I had to because I don't have Disney Plus. So I think I may be the last person to have spent money on Air Force One, the film. Let's start with you, Stacey. What did you think of Air Force One?
Well, first of all, I thought it was a refreshing change to have the Russians back as the bad guys instead of the English, although it's an Englishman playing a Russian. But there was a period of film, wasn't there, where Russians are the bad guys, and this is clearly
This was that.
of that era. Now, whenever you watch a film and there's an English person in it, they're the bad guy straight up.
Yeah.
Why do you hate us, America? No, I thought it was, I mean, it's really good fun, isn't it? It's a classic Harrison Ford action film, you know, what's not to like? It's a bit ridiculous. It's quite nostalgic for me because I probably watched this originally back in the 90s and I remember loving it then. Yeah, really good fun.
This was great because this is during the period where everything needed a manual. Fax machine reigned supreme. It's a hell of a plot point in this. They send a fax and it works. And also the sat phone needs its own manual, which everyone had to carry around with them. So he actually has the manual with the sat phone and then he's like, oh, how do I work? Oh, hang on, because that's the thing you do. You packed your phone, you packed your manual for your phone.
As a male, though, you'd think he'd just go for it without.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. What did you think of this
he
film?
probably threw it away.
What did you think of this film, Harry? Because you sent a voice message when you were kind of watching it. You sent a message like 20 minutes into watching it to be like, well, what did you say?
I fucking loved it.
You've never seen this before?
No,
You've never seen Air Force One?
I'd never heard of it. Actually, I can't believe.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was a big film. I've kept away from any trivia, any box office figures because I wanted to learn, just like our audience members. It is Die Hard on a plane.
Yes.
And
yes, it's exactly Die Hard on a plane.
It's amazing.
It almost has the same plot as Die Hard 2.
Yes, it literally does. Any junkies out there that like their action movies, I would recommend it to.
You just got so excited that you rolled your trousers up.
I need to give myself a leg rub. Makes me think better. No, it was brilliant. It was, don't get me wrong, stupid. Just don't go in this film expecting any massive plot twist. The Russian, the bad guy. You can see everything coming a mile off, but it doesn't try to hide it.
No.
And I like that. Because if you're going to be dumb, lean into it.
Yeah.
And this film does exactly what it says on the tin.
I fucking loved this film. I've seen this film once, maybe about 25 years ago, something like that. I saw it once on Channel 5 so long ago, but I don't remember nothing about it apart from one scene right at the end.
Get off my plane.
Yes. So fucking good. So going back into this, I was a bit like, am I looking at this through sort of rose-tinted glasses? Is this sort of a bit of member berries? It's not as good as I remember it. And it's actually better than what I remember it being. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good. But I think as well, I just think it's actually quite a good, tense story as well. I really do think it's quite a well-told story.
Did you think it was quite tense? Because you know how it's going to end, right?
You kind of do know how it's going to end, but also it was, again, obviously it's
the tense part, I think, was the fact that the Russian guy, Gary Oldman, he did not care who he shot.
Yeah.
That made it tense. When he was like, I'm going to kill a passenger every 30 minutes. And sometimes they bluff it, but every 30 minutes he kills. And that the guy who's like, they'll listen to me, let me talk to him. Yeah. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. Bang, you're gone.
Yeah. Can I say Gary Oldman is probably
saying it wrong.
Sorry, Gary Oldman.
Yeah, it's actually Gary Oldman, but whatever, we'll move past that.
Gary Oldman is probably the shining star of this film.
He's incredible in this film. He's so good, and he outshines
this film.
Oh, in everything.
Yeah.
But also Harrison Ford is really good in this film as well.
Harrison Ford's great. Glenn Close is great as well. But for me, Gary Oldman, he was just superb. I thought, and really confusing because I think he's quite good looking for a bad guy.
Gary Oldman.
Yeah, don't you think?
He's a very charming. Yeah, he's a very charming bloke. I'd have been actively going oh come on, I'll go in the cockpit with you, mate. Come on, Gary. Gary Gorbachev.
Take me as your hostage.
Touch my gear stick.
It is tense because it's all set obviously on one plane, and not just a plane, the most secure plane in the world. They make a point of that being you can't penetrate it, you can't get into it. Oh, come on.
Unless you spit on it and ease it in.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You ain't got to take that for dinner, Air Force One. She's willing. Room for 30 men in there.
And room for more. God.
Oh dear.
All shooting their loads.
Until they're dry. Oh dear.
Who thought the film was so sexual?
You can make any film sexual if you really think about it hard enough. Ooh. Yeah, it's tense. You're on a plane in the middle of the sky. It's one person against 6 people. You've also got hostages. You've got a time limit. Yeah, there's just really good cascading bits in this. And then even when, spoiler alert, the bad guy does die, it's still not over. And the whole Spec Ops team at the beginning, that's hilarious. Parachutes in, hits the roof, and then the next part they are running down that hallway
it's such a callback to the classic 90s can't aim, right? The general army people, they're shooting at air.
Anything that's not, anything they will hit nothing but air.
It's stormtroopers.
Also, Harrison Ford's gun never runs out of bullets.
No.
Not once. It's the same gun throughout the entire thing.
No, what makes me laugh about that Harrison Ford bit is when he's in the underneath of the plane and he's trying to get through to the White House on the mobile phone, but he hasn't got a number saved. Put me through to the White House. So maybe you should save the mobile.
That would never happen now. You can just call the White House. That would never happen now. And I know I tried. I tried for comment on this film. What does you think of him, Harrison Ford as the president? Could you buy it?
100%.
Yeah.
That is his perfect role, isn't it?
Yeah?
I thought so. He's really well suited to that role, I think.
I was watching this and all I could think was, why the fuck have they not remade this with Trump? And I'm not talking like an actor reenacting as Trump. Trump would be up for reenacting this whole film.
I was going to ask this question at the end, but I'll ask it now because it's been prompted. Because in the story, this is his first term as a president, and it says in it he's up for re-election. He would be getting re-elected
100%.
instantly. Oh my God, it'd be an absolute landslide.
I thought that Harrison Ford actually was really good in this film. I have been known to say in the past that I feel Harrison Ford is overrated as an actor, because the last thing we watched him in was the original Indiana Jones, and he's not a great actor in it. He is himself, as a character.
Yeah,
but
gorgeous.
I actually thought he was really good as this role. I think this is him totally.
I'd tell you what, I kind of do agree with you on that. Do you think the twist works, the double agent? And do you think it works because even though you saw it at the beginning, do you think it's still effective?
For me, it could have done without that.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think it actually really added anything to it.
I think it was good. There was apparently a whole scene where it explains his motivations, but it was cut for time and also apparently because it wasn't very interesting.
Yeah, you see it a mile off, don't you? I will say that about this film. It's so scripted.
It's so predictable.
Yeah,
but like you said,
no surprises.
Almost the same sort of thing. Like they are there because they want to get a Russian general out of prison
yeah.
And then he does.
Joel, I forgot halfway through the film what they were on the plane for.
Yeah.
I literally was like, why are there Russians on the plane? I was so entertained by the action. And I was like, but why the fuck are they even there?
Yeah.
And I was like, and then they were like, we need to release the general. I was like, oh yeah, that guy.
I bet everyone on the plane did that as well. Like, oh, that's why they're here.
Can I say I think this film needs a sequel, because don't you think that's really problematic that they actually did let the prisoner out, the prisoner walks out and then gets shot by everyone? That's probably created more of an issue.
Bit of distress, I imagine.
Yeah, but no one's going to say no to him now.
There is a woman on the plane that says to him, like...
I refuse to believe it.
that says to him, like, oh my God, the fact that you have stayed here till the end will be remembered in history, I think she says. So this seems like a good time for me to bring up the casual sexism in the film.
What's that?
Here comes the weekly roundup of why it's wrong. Come on, Woke Patrol, what you got?
Here we go.
Well, I mean, Glenn Close's character is constantly...
Who is he? What film has he been in?
He's constantly...
Glenn, that's a boy's name.
When she's talking to Gary Oldman, he's just talking about her blouse the whole time, and she's like just ignoring him and carrying on speaking, and he's literally like, yeah, but your blouse? Even when, I can't remember the character, but there's another character in the war room, let's say, with her, and she's like, right, we should do this, and he speaks over her completely. She's the vice president, and he's like, no, I'm in charge? And it's like, no, I think vice president.
There was, I mean, it's in the trivia, but there is a bit where the director asked her if she could, when the first hostage is killed, if she could cry, like fully break down, and she went, I'm not doing that, because I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, I think she played
has a
it
single
perfectly.
tear.
Yeah, so she was like, she said as a compromise, I'll let you have that, but I'm not breaking down crying because my character wouldn't do that.
I think she played it perfectly. She was very stoic, wasn't she? She was very firm.
But I was invested in that part of it as well.
Yeah.
You've got some people going, look, it's 50 lives.
Yes, shoot it down.
I know it's the president, but it's 50 lives. Like we can, if you let him out. What is the line, Harrison Ford? And he's like, if you give the guy a glass of milk, he'll want cookies. So basically, like, if you give him one thing, they'll want more and more and more.
I thought he was asking for cookies and milk. I was like, all right, bit weird, but we'll go with it.
We need fuel, and whilst you're up there, if someone could pass me down
a pack of hobnobs.
Yes, chocolate hobnobs. I'm not a monster.
Yeah, come on, mate. It's the president. He can get that.
Yeah, and also his daughter, who's barely 13, and they're talking about her flying the nest and having her own kids, and then Gary Oldman goes to almost kiss her on the lips. Did we notice?
I thought that was where it was going.
That hasn't aged well, has it?
No. Just went for the forehead.
Yeah, in the end, yeah.
Hey, he's a crazy Russian nationalist, I'm sure. To be fair, this bit probably wasn't scripted.
Just let Gary go wild. They just gave him a gun. Off you go.
This whole thing was actually a documentary. He had 3 months to put together a team and hijack a plane.
Method acting.
Your time starts now.
It just happened to be a plane which Harrison Ford was on at the time. And they went, oh my God, we've done it. We've created the perfect film.
That bit when he comes up against Harrison Ford and they're like nose to nose having it out, I genuinely was like, I don't know what Harrison Ford's going to do here. I don't know if he's going to punch him in the face or what.
There was a point where you would be a henchman, despite everything that's happened. When you're like beating up and you get punched, It'd be like getting punched by a celebrity. It would hurt, but you'd also be like, oh my God, the president hit me. Can you imagine that? Just giving a swift kick to the president. Which is just like, oh my God, I'm kicking the president. This
feels amazing.
I would be a terrible henchman because I'd be like, oh my God, it's so exciting. Is this anyone else's first day? It's my first day.
Oh, he shot me. He shot me.
The president got me. I'm bleeding out. Oh my God.
The president killed me.
I think, speaking of henchmen, the most valuable person in this is the bloke is the one that managed to not only land it, but drift it round an airport.
Yes. He literally outruns
everything.
it. Yeah, what a guy.
That guy deserves everything.
I was loving that.
I loved it because as well, I think it was it had to be like CGI or a model, but it goes on a wheel. Like he takes the corner so sharply, like I do in my VW Golf. And he manages to drift the whole thing. I was like, this guy's incredible.
There were several, and I'm not sure if they're intentional, but laugh out loud moments.
What bits got you?
So that one got me in particular. The biggest laugh, which, you know, it's all like, you take a bullet for your country sort of thing.
It's
not the bullet one, but at the very end, when the Kazakhstan Air Force are flying and they fire a missile, and Air Force One has used all of its defences up, they're vulnerable. It fires the missile, and it's like, not on my watch, for America. And he flies his jet and goes in front of Air Force One, like it's jumping in front of a missile, and I just lost it. I thought that was the fucking best. He took a missile for America. What a guy!
If that guy had survived, he would be the next president.
Oh man, he'd get anyone he
The
wanted.
bit before that got me as well is when they're fighting.
Plane drifting on the grass. I made the notes.
The bit that got me was before that, which is another moment similar, where Gary Oldman and Harrison Ford are fighting in the cockpit, and Gary Oldman goes to shoot Harrison Ford, and the bloke who's tied up's like, no! Takes a bullet.
And survives!
What
He
a
walks
lad.
it off.
What a lad.
I'd like to think he lived.
I bet
He did?
Yeah.
He goes off.
They got him off first.
Yeah, but you don't know.
I mean, also, actually, to be fair, when he is getting taken off the plane and it's like losing altitude, he's going back and forth.
Yeah, he's like,
That episode was brilliant.
That guy is having the worst day on the job ever.
Yeah, he should have just been throwing up.
He's got his arms out and sort of like, help me.
Yeah, he does. The bit that really got me is when the hostages are jumping out the plane because the CGI is so bad. They're just like, whee!
Awful.
Oh, the CGI is good. It is good.
It's so questionable.
I would say it's PS1 CGI cutscene.
Yeah.
I also found it hilarious that Mr. Oldman, he got killed by a safety strap. The irony.
Did he?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's a harness.
I thought it was a belt.
And yeah, belt, yeah. This isn't what it's intended for. Snaps his neck.
Great line though.
Can you imagine when that body lands? Like, who's going to find that?
That was on my notes. Someone is going to have a real horrible morning in the back garden. You're taking your dog for a walk, and then suddenly it's just hanging from a tree.
Oh, there's a kite in the backyard again. Oh wait,
It's just Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. The ending part where the reel's going out and it's someone's on the end of it to get to the plane. That's real.
Oh, okay.
I do think.
But the when it's connected, because I thought surely you wouldn't have done that CGI. Well, surely that's CGI. You wouldn't have done that practically. I was like, yeah, that's done CGI. But they generally are flying that close to each other.
I'd like to think that they did do that in midair though. like, go on, Steve.
I don't get paid enough.
Oh, yes, I do actually. Great line as well. Get off my plane.
Yeah, it's a tagline.
Such a great line.
When they were trying to fly away from the Russians, like what you were saying, where the guy flies in front and takes a missile, did you notice they said that they deployed the chaff? Did you notice that?
Yeah, chaff grenade.
They deployed a chaff. Oh, okay,
chaff grenade, yeah,
I was like, who or what is chaff?
Chaff was his name. Deploy chaff.
For America!
I've never heard that term.
Is that the call sign for the one who's got to jump in front of the plane that day? Your call sign, chaff.
You look down at your name tag, you're like, who's that? Oh, fuck.
God, I hope they haven't got him. Oh, here they go. Oh, just remortgaged as well.
Air Force One, though, I'd just like to say the toilets are very clean.
Oh, okay.
Did you? Because
Where was the hatch he goes through?
Well, yeah,
I don't know.
He crawls through
Secret
the
toilet hatch.
He crawls through the hatch
In the event of an emergency, the president must be escorted.
Flushed away.
He crawls through the hatch in the toilets. Would you
Comes out cleaner than when he went in.
Yeah, would you ever contemplate doing that on a normal aircraft?
What, in a survival situation? Well, it depends.
Honestly, if I go on a 10-hour flight, I just load up on Imodium and hope for the best. I don't want to go in there.
I'm the actual opposite. I load up on laxatives.
I paid my ticket. I'll get my money's worth.
Bloody loot, mate.
Fucking staff, you earn your wage.
Either the plumbing's going down or that plane is.
Are you that sort of person where you go into the loo after them and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake?
I know. I actually come out. I loudly announce to first class that I've done it because I don't use an economy. I use first class one.
Excuse me, sir. Where's your first
Oh,
class
that was
ticket?
a 6 flusher.
Men.
But yeah, you'd never crawl across a normal aircraft toilet, would you?
I don't normally know.
Because you'd get some sort of disease. I just thought they were very clean.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of loses its impact if it was like terrorists have taken over an EasyJet flight on its way to Malaga.
Just lose the plane.
Yeah, honestly.
Just get rid of it.
Can you imagine if they went Ryanair and they sounded the landing song as they touched down? Like, oh no, take it back, guys.
I mean, the last thing I want is to be on a Jet 2 flight and Jess Glynn's playing over it.
They're quite brazen with the gunshots, don't you think? I realise that Air Force One is mostly impenetrable, but don't take that risk. Stop firing machine guns everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
but even he's firing them everywhere as
they
well.
They just don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you were in the war room or somewhere, it's like, by the way, there is a flight to Magaluf right now, which has been hijacked. We have got fighter jets in the air. I'd be like, who's in the passenger manifesto? Well, it's like a load of... The average age is about 18 to 21, mostly lads. Like, shoot it down. Yeah. Shoot it down. Honestly, they're all going to have tattoos by the end of this. Most of them have been arrested.
STIs.
Yeah. It's better off for society if we just shoot that plane down now.
The other thing that really made me laugh was the amendment, because how quick did that come out? They were like, I'm not sure where the president is. Should we just write him off? I'll be the president. I'll do it.
There's weirdly a lot of law in it for someone. Like, they actually had a moment in there where it's just like, oh, right, well, am I in charge or are you in charge? I don't know, the Constitution says something like, well, get the Constitution guy in here.
Yeah, but
there's a guy who just does that, like, all right, guys, let's all sit down and work this out.
Yeah, but that was the sexism part, because the vice president's like, I'm in charge, and that guy's like, oh, I don't think so.
Again, I'm not going to... Here we go, another segment, Ben defends sexism. Sexism and measured response. Is that sexism, or is it because it's generally like they can both take charge of that situation?
I don't know enough about American politics.
To be fair, neither do I. Well, that's another bit of trivia. Glenn Close portrays a female vice president. It would take over 20 years for there to actually be a female vice president.
Wow.
From the point of her playing it.
Wow.
Yeah. Was there anything you didn't like about this film?
I would say the multiple endings, and although I did love it, if it had just shaved like 10, 15 minutes off of the runtime, I think it just would have been a bit tighter film. Yeah. That's all really.
Stace, anything for you?
I get it's a product of his time, but obviously I would take out the casual sexism. And I'd probably cut the traitor guy, because that was a bit random for me. I think...
Why do they have machine guns? Sorry to interrupt here. But, so the Russians get the machine... I know how... So the traitor opens up...
The weapons locker. Yeah.
Why the fuck is there a weapons locker on it?
Because it's Secret Service.
Because it's Air Force One, yeah. But how do they...
But the whole point is it's meant to be like so secure that you can't get on there. That situation wouldn't have happened if the guns weren't on there. I'm just throwing it out there.
Oh God, I was going on about bloody gun control rant again. Yes,
all
we all realise
stuff. Everyone having guns is not the answer, right? That film is like, if a gun can't answer it, nothing fucking can.
However, Harrison Ford did win the whole thing by having a gun.
But the whole thing wouldn't have happened.
Right, what came first, Harrison Ford or the gun? It's an age-old question.
I just realised that they're able to get through security at the beginning because of the inside man, aren't they?
Yeah, that's why he's there.
Oh,
see, just thought it was a random Secret Service guy. I was like, God, I haven't been paid properly again. I'm fucking gonna go for it. Thankfully, these Russian guys are also on board.
Yeah, you're probably fine. Yeah.
Oh, another 0-hour contract, right? I do think as well, like, for a 2-hour film, it's quite a tight 2-hour film as well. It's not really wasting anything. No. Like, there's no side points or side plots that don't really make any sense. I wanted them to keep out the the conference room. I didn't want to really have anything in there of just like people holding each other and crying and being like, oh, what's going to happen to us?
Yeah. You're probably going to die.
Brilliant.
Move on.
And also, if it's not by gunshot, I know this plane hasn't got a lot of fuel.
That was quite harrowing, actually. The woman that they take hostage, and she's forced to speak over the microphone or whatever, and she's going, oh no, I don't want to die, and then he kills her.
Allegedly, the crew were quite uncomfortable with filming that scene because they based her off the tour guide they had for Air Force One.
Oh, wow.
So the crew managed to actually tour Air Force One, some of them, to get like, measurements for set and like, block through things. How would this work? How would you do that? And they had consultants to be like, look, Air Force One does not have an escape pod, but if you were to have one, this is where it would be.
For the sake of the film. For
the sake of the film, and also it doesn't have a parachute ramp because it's just a converted Boeing 737.
How did he get out that escape hatch?
Yeah, that's never really explained.
Because I swear, when they see it go...
He used America to get out of that.
He would make America great again. He definitely would.
Yeah, he fucking did the thing.
There's nothing he can't do.
They would literally just have to say, I have literally killed 6 people for America.
But I swear, when that escape hatch goes off, all the Russians are around it, aren't they? So
no, they get to... Well, no, they see it, like, go, but then they don't. They walk away from it.
Okay.
Bear in mind as well, their plan is fucked from that moment. If your one job...
They should have set someone down there, really.
Yeah, if your one job when you were going to hijack it was we need the president, otherwise this whole thing doesn't have any leverage, and then you fucking lose him... You planned shit.
They plan B it with like, we've got his family.
Oh, great.
And they're like, yeah, don't care.
I really like the guy that they take hostage and they make him answer back when the Russians are like, everything okay down there? And they force him to be like, yeah, everything's fine. And he does the biggest eye roll ever. It's like, oh, yes, it's fine.
Oh, yeah. So summary-wise, before we go to the approval and then we'll go and do a bit of trivia, I fucking loved it. I really loved this film.
I think it's just a load of good fun, isn't it? And it is what it says on the tin. Like, you know what you're getting, and boy, does it give it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Harry?
Yeah, I loved it. I wish there was Air Force 2 and Air Force 3.
Well, let's land this review and taxi to approval and go through control.
It started off well.
No, it didn't.
Fell apart.
No, it didn't. Unlike this film, which gets my approval.
Let's try and stick the landing. Let's review this film.
Hey.
Oh, don't get that! I did a whole opening!
God, that was so funny, Harry.
Yeah, thank you. It's just off the cuff of
God. Did you mean you winged it?
Oh, much better.
There we go, we're getting there.
I nan approve, yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, top nan approval here.
Yeah, all-round nan approval for Air Force One. Go and see it. Trivia.
Hit us with some facts.
Let's do some facts. So, again, I've mentioned that the set decorate, a lot of people toured. I've mentioned that some of the crew toured Air Force One to start with. Mm-hmm. Some parts of it they were restricted going to. So things like where the escape hatch is in the film and where the parachute ramp is, as also where the cockpit is, they weren't allowed to go into because it is Air Force One. Well, one of them. There's more than one Air Force One.
So there could be Air Force 2.
There could be.
Oh my God.
Let's hope. There was another flight.
Harrison Ford was just a fraud. The real president's on another one.
It'd be a whole decoy. Had a really good... Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that bit in Airplane where he has an autopilot and it's just a blow up?
Yeah.
Moving man. My God, I thought he was the president.
Initially, Wolfgang Peterson, the director, was denied access to go and visit the real-life Air Force One. However, Harrison Ford then called the White House.
So he does have his number?
He apparently... This was the time when you could just call the White House, apparently.
Why doesn't he use it in the film?
It's like, I know this number, actually, guys.
I don't want to brag.
Sorry, but I just love the idea that he's calling up the White House like, hi, it's Harrison here.
It's just
me straight through.
Yeah, it's Harrison again. Oh, go on then. Gary Oldman's performance in the film earned him the nickname Scary Gary.
From who?
He evolved from Dracula Gary.
From crew. Scary Gary. But apparently, offset, he was actually really friendly and really nice. And he and Harrison Ford got on very well together. Harrison Ford has still said he's his favourite on-screen nemesis.
Oh.
Yeah.
It blows my mind that his sister is Big Mo from EastEnders.
What? That's a trivia. That's a trivia.
No.
Do you remember Big Mo?
I know Big Mo.
Yeah, that's his sister.
That's Gary Oldman's sister.
Yeah.
So she's Mo old girl.
I like this little fact. So the first terrorist that gets killed by Harrison Ford, and obviously like as kind of an accident because he's trying to get into the conference room, turns around, just literally kills him. He portrays someone in Friends who is referenced in Air Force One. So in Friends, one of his running gags is that he has never seen the film and doesn't know the references, which is quite funny.
Who's he in Friends?
He portrays a dry cleaner who claims to have never seen the film.
Oh, where Joey puts his picture up in.
Maybe.
Oh,
I haven't
that's
seen
amazing.
Friends.
I'm going to have to rewatch the whole thing.
Yeah. Would anyone like to
do that on your own?
Would anyone like to guess the body count?
Oh, the body count. I don't think it would be amazingly high. I reckon it's like
30. Because I mean, when he first goes on the plane, he does go on a little bit of a spree.
I'm going to go 47.
30.
Fucking hell, it's 48.
Oh, God.
I miscounted one. I'm so upset.
This is why you always double check you're dead. I mean, we can put this into it. So there is during the initial hijacking, just after the last Secret Service agent gets Marshall into the pod door to escape, if you look carefully, you can see Marshall quickly moving up a ladder inside the pod room, which sets up the escape.
Okay.
Would anyone like to have a guess as to, because there is an answer to this, would anyone like to have a guess as to what party President James Marshall is from? Because there is an answer.
I would guess he's not the Republican, the other one.
The Democrat.
Democrat, yeah.
So you think he's Democrat?
No, I'm a Republican.
He is Republican.
Oh, of course
And I mean,
he is.
if you kind of look at his policy on gun control, it's fairly obvious.
And you get a gun. And you get a gun. Not you, Russians. No guns for you.
But yeah, that's everything we've got on Air Force One.
Loved it.
Yeah. Fasten your seatbelts, Stacey. Take it away.
We've been Nerds Against Normality. Thanks for hanging with us. Catch all of our latest episodes every Thursday wherever you get your podcast from. Please follow, rate, like us on social media for more exclusive content. And if you have a question or something you want us to review, please email us at nerdsagainstnormalitypod@outlook.com. Love you, bye!
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Still rolling, still rolling. So, if you've hit this part of the podcast and you've listened to some of our older episodes, you now know that we reveal little random Ben facts for you because we don't believe that he listens to the podcast, and this is a little test. So we eke out his dirty little secrets off of him and reveal them here. So, you may not know this, but Ben actually broke his vow to never get a tattoo on his body because he loves Drake so much that he had to get his face tattooed on his chest just so he can kiss him goodnight every night. Stay tuned for more Ben facts next week. Thank you.